Welcome. We start with some breaking news coming in. In a big blow for British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, Scotland's highest civilian court has ruled that the suspension of the UK Parliament is unlawful. A panel of 3 judges at the Court of Session found in favour of a cross-party group of politicians who were challenging the Prime Minister's move. The judges said that the Prime Minister was attempting to prevent Parliament holding the government to account ahead of Brexit. The UK government said that it will appeal against the ruling to the Supreme Court in London, calling the suspension legal and necessary. Now, the Court of Session decision overturns an earlier ruling from the court, which said last week that Johnson had not broken the law. But it will not immediately affect the current suspension of Parliament, which started in the early hours of Tuesday. WION's London Bureau Chief Mandy Clark is live with us from London. Good afternoon to you, Mandy. So Scotland's highest court has now said that this move is unlawful. Take us through this.
Yes, it's a bit confusing because, in fact, there was 2 separate court cases questioning the legality of him proroguing Parliament for so long. Now, just to remind viewers that the prorogation of Parliament, where he suspends it, is not uncommon. But the fact that he's suspended it for so long is seen like he's trying to come in the way of Parliament doing its work. Now, there was one court case that was brought in England. The judge decided that it was not unlawful. The Scottish one has. So that is the second court case. Now, they said they're going to appeal, but in all likelihood, this will go to appeals court and then all the way up to the Supreme Court. It will move very quickly because it is such an important case. It's hard to see if it will go ahead or not because we've already seen one court case where it has dismissed it, but certainly it is a blow, and it just shows the sentiment of how many people feel about the decision to suspend Parliament for so long.
Mandy, thank you for that report. That is our London Bureau Chief, bringing us the latest on the Scottish Court's issuance of the civilian court saying that the suspension of UK Parliament is indeed unlawful. In a major announcement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to annex 1/3 of the West Bank if he wins next week's re-election. Now, Israel goes to the polls on the 17th of September. Netanyahu has said that he will annex the area covering the Jordan Valley and northern Dead Sea, which were occupied by Israel after the Six-Day War of 1967. Netanyahu said that he will wait for U.S. President Donald Trump to present his Israeli-Palestine peace deal before finalizing his own plans.
יש מקום אחד שבו ניתן להכיל את הריבונות הישראלית מיד לאחר הבחירות. אם מקבל מכם, אזרחי ישראל, מנדט ברור לעשות זאת. בחודשים האחרונים הובלתי מאמץ מדיני בכיוון הזה, ובימים האחרונים בשלו התנאים המדיניים לכך. היום אני מודיע על כוונתי להכיל עם הקמת הממשלה הבאה את הריבונות הישראלית על בקעת הירדן וצפון ים המלח.
The Jordan Valley, which accounts for 1/3 of the West Bank, is home to nearly 65,000 Palestinians and 11,000 Israelis. The Palestinians want the region to be part of the future state. Now, as expected, Netanyahu's remarks set alarm bells ringing in the Arab world. The chief Palestinian negotiator, Saeb Erekat, has said that the West Bank's annexation would amount to a war crime.
Annexation of occupied territories is a war crime. So Mr. Netanyahu and those who help or aid Mr. Netanyahu in such a vision of annexing Jerusalem, annexing Hebron, annexing the Jordan Valley, the Jordan River, the Dead Sea, and then keeping Palestinians in their small towns and villages as prisoners without any freedom, that is a war crime. The international community must stand tall now, all, to say a big no and to stop treating Israel as a country above the laws of man.
Saudi Arabia has called for an emergency meeting of foreign ministers of the 57-member Organization of Islamic Cooperation. In a statement, the Saudi royal court said, and I quote, "The kingdom affirms that this declaration is a very dangerous escalation against the Palestinian people and represents a flagrant violation of the UN Charter and the principles of international law," unquote. Condemning Netanyahu's announcement, Jordanian Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi has said that killing all chances for peace for electoral purposes was irresponsible and dangerous. The United Nations denounced Netanyahu's plans as unilateral action that would not help the peace process.
The Secretary General's position has always been clear and consistent. Unilateral actions are not helpful in the peace process. Our position today is unchanged and is reflected in relevant UN resolutions. Any Israeli decision to impose its laws, jurisdiction, and administration in the occupied West Bank is without any international legal effect. I think such a prospect would be devastating to the potential of reviving negotiations, regional peace, and the very essence of a two-state solution.
Shortly after his announcement, Netanyahu was taken off stage after 2 rockets fired from Gaza interrupted his campaign rally. Rocket alerts were also sounded in nearby areas. The Israeli forces responded with an airstrike targeting at least 15 Hamas terror centers in the Gaza Strip. Netanyahu's announcement also generated a series of reactions at home. His main rival in the 17 September elections and former Israel Army Chief Benny Gantz said that Netanyahu only made hollow promises, but Gantz added that he will make sure that the annexation becomes a reality. Now, Netanyahu is facing a contested election. Remember, the polls come after Netanyahu failed to form a coalition after the previous election. In fact, the embattled prime minister is also embroiled in at least 3 corruption cases.